Qaasid, the promised Messiah goes further on. He not only just explains that there are three different stages of man's development or progression, and not only does he speak about the sources from which they come from, but also he speaks about the reform of each of the three. And as Messie Promis says, that the first is that senseless savages should be taught the elementary social values pertaining to eating, drinking, marriage, etc. They should not go about naked nor eat carrion like dogs, nor practice any other type of wildness. This is an elementary stage of the reform of natural conditions of the type that would have to be adopted. For instance, if it is desired to teach a savage from Port Blair the elementary ways of human behavior. So this is the very first stage, as we've mentioned, the physical state. And then the second reform that Islam proposes is that the second method of reform is that when a person has adopted elementary human ways, he may be taught the higher moral qualities and should be instructed to employ his faculties in their proper places and on their proper occasions. As you were mentioning, that how the very same actions that we commit whilst in our natural state, because they're not governed by logic or reason, they just remain as just merely acts that are done by instinct or out of instinct. But the moment they're governed by logic, reason, they become very basic elementary moral actions. And then the third reform that Islam has given, which as Messie mentions, is that the third method of reform is that those who have acquired high moral qualities should be given a taste of the draught of the love of and union with God. These are methods which Noble Quran has mentioned. So we can see that how we've got the mention of the three states, and then also the way they can be reformed, and man can progress from the very basic stage of his physical state and ultimately reach the peaks of his spiritual ascension.
Yeah.